Today's Good Friday. Look at the day. Look at the day. God gives us grace when we least expect it and when we believe. I know that in my heart and soul, and I know I'm looking at a crowd of people that believe that too. So I have news to report. This morning at 9 a.m., I talked to a gentleman named Sami, who is the founder of a company called HIG Capital. HIG Capital purchased Pixelle approximately 3 years ago this month. I talked to him, I expressed to him that this is a mill that started 213 years ago, survived the Civil War, survived World War I, survived the Great Depression, survived World War II, and it has to be able to survive a private equity company. I also explained to him, he lives in Miami, I said 1,000 jobs in Chillicothe is like 30,000 jobs in Miami. What would happen if you shut down a company with 30,000 employees where you live, in your own community, where you had to look at those family members in the face and know that you devastated them on Holy Week, and that on Easter Sunday, rather than celebrating, that you had to talk to your family and explain to them what could come of not having a job, not having a place to go to work, not being able to provide for your family, where you did nothing wrong. You woke up every morning, you went to work, and you did the best you could. And as I walked around this crowd today, and I heard of some of the conditions in which you've had to work, they're completely and utterly unacceptable. Amen. So here's where we are. After that call, Sami called me back about 45 minutes later as I was enjoying a wonderful donut over at Krispy Kreme. I had to say I'm sorry to RFK Jr. saying, well, look, I need a donut. What can I do? He called me and he said the following. They are going to announce today that they are suspending the closure of the mead. That suspension through the end of this year gives us the time that we need. And I say we, every single one of us. This is a team sport. This means the city, the county, the state, and the federal government are going to work diligently with urgency over the next 8 months. And let me tell you what we're going to work on. We're going to find a company that's willing to come to Chillicothe to invest in people first. Invest in the people who bust their, you know what, butt over there. Number two, to invest in capital. Put in the equipment necessary to be successful. And the end, now I don't know that we get there. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Now, I know that God shines upon us here in Chillicothe, Ohio, and I know that in my heart and soul, that with your efforts, the people who work there, who work at the meet, who I just had the opportunity to meet, that you'll show up to work on Monday, and you will give your extra heart and soul, that you will provide the feedback to management that they need, and that I am confident that this mill will not only survive next year, but for the next 200 years in this community. This has turned from a day that could have been a day of despair. I had a whole different set of remarks. And the inevitability that it wasn't going to be this news. Believe me, I would have had to go to church and confess my sins for the speech I was going to give. It would have been very different. But I think today is a day of hope. And I think as we gather our families on Sunday, that we really understand that when we pray, when we're hopeful, when we're optimistic, when we unite, not as Republicans, who cares about that? We're Americans, and we're Ohioans. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take our Ohio hearts, our Ohio hands, and our Ohio pride, and build the mead for future generations together. Thank you to everybody here for making that happen. And I have the pleasure of introducing a guy I've known for 20 years. I never thought we would be in the same hallway together every day when we first met. But he's my partner in the United States Senate, a great man, Senator John Huston.
Well, Bernie's right about that. I thought I'd prepared for a different speech this morning, honestly. But this is great news that we have a reprieve. It's not, the final chapter of this book has not been written. We get to write that chapter together. And I will tell you that when we were talking about this earlier in the week, I was really concerned. Because I know what losing 1,100 jobs, 1,000 jobs, 800 jobs, the supply chain, everybody in the community who suffers, the restaurants, the stores, the people who service the facility, everybody gets hurt when it goes away. About the time I graduated high school, I lived in a small town, and the factory my dad worked at closed. It was a town of about 4,000 people, and the company he worked at had 400 jobs. And when that closes, I know the devastation to that community, to the families. I know what it did to my family. And I tell you, Bernie and I were talking about this. If the private equity firms who do this to communities had to go walk through and look at every one of you in the eye and hear your stories and see the devastation that they cause when they make selfish decisions, they would never do what they do. God would you'd have to pray for their souls if they did it after they knew it, right? And so I'm happy today that we have a reprieve in this story. And it's something we should be grateful to God for, and we should be thankful on this Good Friday. But I will tell you that, and I want to give my friend Bernie Moreno a lot of credit, because I know the governor talked to him, and Congressman Taylor talked to the company, and Bernie and I talked to the company. And as soon as I got off the phone, Bernie said, "I'm ready to bring the heat." And I said, "Let's go. Let's get it done." And they changed their mind temporarily. But I know how these things happen a lot of times. That when we're in an uncomfortable position, if you're a company, they say that they're going to do something today, and we take their word for it. But we got to hold them to account for this community. We got to all work together. It's going to take all of us, local governments, the union, workforce, the company, the political leaders, to make this victory permanent, to write that last chapter that is the chapter that has a future for this company or for this facility and this town. And a lot of work remains to be done. And I do want to give a little bit of the speech that I was going to give earlier, because I want to fire off a warning, because there's a lot of wonderful things happening in this state. Governor's been a great leader. We've had ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and all those kinds of things. But not only do you show up during the good times, you got to show up during the tough times too. And there's so many private equity firms that have bought up companies in this state and in this country and chopped them up and made profits off of the pieces and left the communities and the workers and the people who relied on those jobs, they've left them with nothing. And that has to stop. I am a great believer in capitalism, and I believe America is the greatest country in the world, and that we can prosper through this wonderful system that we have. But when we have people that want to abuse the system and abuse the people who live and work here, they have to be held to account, and we're going to do that. And I know we've communicated with President Trump and his team. I know he's been making a lot of investments in Ohio, and I know he'll be with us in this fight. I can count on that, because he understands certainly about what happens to communities when these things happen. But as Bernie said, this isn't anything to do with partisanship. It has to do with the red, white, and blue, not the blue or the red. And it's now my privilege to introduce my friend and somebody that I know has been in this community during the good times and the bad. He's been everywhere in Ohio during the good times and the bad. He's somebody who cares deeply about people, and that's why he's here today. Let me welcome and introduce you to somebody who needs no introduction, Governor Mike DeWine.
John, thank you very, very much. John Husted was, for 6 years, was my lieutenant governor and did a phenomenal job. He's doing a great job as United States Senator. Let me just say thank you to Bernie Moreno. Bernie, thank you. Thank you for getting mad and saying we're not going to put up with this. Sometimes in life you just have to get mad. And people say, well, it's hopeless, and no, you just go do it. And Bernie did that this morning. So thank you. The conversation that John related about he and Bernie and I were having, we all had the chance to walk around, just talk to some of you, not all of you certainly, but some of you. And everybody sort of got the same story. Second generation, third generation, fourth. Go to work every day, make a difference. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a part of what makes America great, what makes this state great. And it's people like you who've made this state, made our great country. We've gotten some time. I think the thing that was the most aggravating was that no one really had notice. When did the governor find out? Same time you found out. When did the senators find out? The same time you found out, the mayor. And so what Bernie's been able to achieve today with those calls, is to give us the opportunity. We have hope. We want to be honest with you. We don't know where this goes now. But what we do know is this is going to be and is a team effort, from the mayor to the county commissioners, other local officials, United States senators, members of Congress, the governor. We're going to work together, and we know really what we have to do. There's another entity that I work very closely with. I get to appoint the board and the head person. They're separate from the governor's office, but we work very closely, and that's Jobs Ohio. Jobs Ohio spends his time focused on bringing companies into the state of Ohio and creating jobs. And we've been able to do a good job of that in the last few years. Let me introduce someone who some of you may already know, and that's Matt Abbott, Ohio Southeast. He handles this part of the state. I don't know where you are, Matt. Raise your hand. I saw you a minute ago. He's clearing back. He's going to be an integral part in this as well. What we started to do as soon as we got the news was to start trying to figure out what company might align that might be able to come in here. What company might be interested in buying this facility and taking it over. And we just had got started. But now we have more time. We have more time to work this. And so our commitment to you is we're going to do everything that we can between now and the end of the year. We hope to get something resolved sooner to find a company to come in. We cannot guarantee you that. But we're all in this together. When you hurt, we are all in this together. Nobody could come down here and walk around and talk to the people in this crowd and not think, we got to do something. We got to do everything that we can. So that's what we're pledging to do, everything we can. We don't have the results yet. We can't guarantee anything, but we're in this. Let me now introduce someone else who is in this, Congressman Dave Taylor. You're congressman, and we're going to continue. We're going to work with him. We're going to work with the mayor. We're going to work with all officials. Dave?
Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Taylor. I'm you're a new congressman, new to politics in general. So I got to say I'm very, very pleased to see the response we've seen at every single level of government here to this, obviously dire situation. And special thanks to Senator Marino for, as the governor said, getting mad, getting stuff handled, getting us a chance. Obviously, we just get a reprieve. We can all get together with our families and enjoy this holy weekend. And then on Monday, we got to go back to work in every way. We go back to work at the mill and continue doing the great job you always do there. And we got to go to work on the things the governor just talked about. Either convince Pixelle that it's in their best interest to run this this mill as a business that should make money and should thrive for years to come, or start helping us find somebody who does want to do it, not destroy what we have and leave us with nothing, with a situation where we're starting from scratch again. So I promise you that Bernie won't stop being on their back. I won't stop being on their back. Neither will Senator Husted or Dave Yost, who you're going to hear some very important things from here shortly, and the governor, and at all levels of government. And we've talked to all of them. We've all talked together. We're not going to let this go. It's too big of a thing for Chillicothe to go without. I think Senator Husted makes a good point when he says, you get to these crucible moments and you get a little movement on the other side, and then you relax. Well, we can't relax. We have to keep the pressure on them because Christmas will be here before you know it. We got to make use of every single minute between now and then to make sure that we have a solid business here in the place, as Bernie said, has been successful for over 200 years. There's no reason it can't be successful for 200 more. We're looking forward to that, and if there are any needs that you guys have as a result of this, in the long or the short run, reach out to our office. We're there for you to help you in any way we can, and keep fighting the good fight, and we will too. And it's my honor now to introduce to you our great Attorney General, Dave Yost.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you all for being here. I want you all to smile for me. I'm serious now. This is amazing turnout. Thank you. If we end up in court, this is going to be Exhibit A. I want to thank Senator Marino and Senator Husted, Governor DeWine for moving quickly, but especially Bernie. He was quick on this and got a major concession without giving up anything because of the strength of his advocacy. We have until the end of the year because of Bernie Marino. Now, you just heard from the optimists. These are the guys that are going to actually be out there trying to help, trying to support the private sector, the possibility of a deal. And they've got hope, and I do too. I'm glad to hear that, and I hope that I don't have any other role. But you just heard from the good cops, meet the bad cop. And I want this company to know that we're not going to go down quietly into that good night. And if they can't figure out a way to bring the joy, I'm going to figure out a way to bring the hurt on them. Well, look, you've heard everything that a politician has to say because there were 5 of them that went before this one. But the last speaking slot, as a lawyer I know, is the closing argument. It's the most important words. It's the most important thing. And for that spot, it's not a politician. His name is Jeff Allen. He knows what's going on here. Jeff, would you come up here? Tell us about your story, brother.
A lot of you guys know me out there. I've been around that place for almost 37 years. I was telling them that my grandfather may very well be one of the oldest living retirees. He's 94 years old. My dad retired from there. I'm a third-generation papermaker. I see all these retirees out here. Thank you for teaching the skills to these people in here right now. Thank you. Thank you. Look, we got a reprieve today. It's going to be a long go to get here. There's still some hurdles to get over, but I can tell you, what I told him today is I have a motivated and highly skilled workforce in there that is ready to make it run. That's what I told him. That's right. So, listen, I'm not a politician and I'm not a speaker, so this is my story, and I'm here to introduce Bernie Moreno back up here.
All right, so again, thank you so much for coming out. I just want you to know a couple of things as well. My state director, James Coyne, want to give him a shout out for helping quarterback this and put this together. Also, we have a deputy state director, Alex Scharferter, who I've instructed, and he's accepted, to move and relocate his family to Chillicothe, Ohio. We're also going to shrink our office space in Cleveland and put a permanent Senate office here in Chillicothe, Ohio. And that office has one charge: to make certain that this plant is successful, to monitor the progress, to make certain that this thing thrives for the next 200 years, and it's going to be physically here in the community every single day. And I'll close like I started, and Pastor, as you started, there's one person, it's not me, who made all this happen.
All right now. That's right.
And on this holiest day,
Yes, sir.
on this holiest day, let's think about what he gave us today, which is an opportunity, which is all we can ever ask for. Make certain on Sunday we give thanks to the one, the Creator, the one who's forgiven us from our sins, and who's given us this opportunity to create something even more special. Because the mead was great for 213 years, but with our hearts, we're going to make it absolutely the most world-class paper mill anywhere on the planet Earth. Thank you so much.